Hello and welcome to episode 1446 of The Sleeper and the Bust. It is Tuesday, August 26th. I'm your host, Paul Sporer. Joined this afternoon by Justin and Joe. The boys are back early. What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Good to be back, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Justin?
Doing fantastic. Got a nap. Changed, remodeling my bathroom a little bit this morning.
Let's go.
And yeah, it's a good day. Good day.
Good.
Not great news.
Not great news. We're going to start with
But
some
good.
bad news. We're going to get back into the meatball. We told you we got another one coming. We are going to split it up into three. Thursday, we'll get into the pitching side, starters and relievers. Today, it's outfielders with a little sprinkle of the three DH only guys because they're all awesome and they all kind of have their own little thing. So we'll get into them as well. But we do have to start with the Nathan Eovaldi situation. Almost assuredly done for the season with a strained rotator cuff. That came in again right as Justin was hitting record. Justin, I mean, I hate to ever do this with one player because that's just not how baseball is, but how much does this sting the Rangers' ever fleeting chances of climbing into this thing?
Yeah, I mean, this hurts. The strength of this team all season has been that rotation and its ability to actually stay really healthy for the most part, other than losing Molly earlier this season.
Despite being crazy old.
Yeah, and crazy injury prone. This was a rotation for the most part that I was staying away from because I was really worried about the long-term health. But they got a resurgent year from Patrick Corbin. Eovaldi has been elite. DeGrom has been, not DeGrom, but he has been fantastic.
He's been amazing.
He's been great. And then they got the big contributions from Maul at the beginning of the season. Lighters held, his own, in and out of the rotation. So I think losing Eovaldi here is massive. Their offense has finally started to kind of get it together, and now they lose pretty much the guy who's been their best starting pitcher or second best starting pitcher this year.
Like a fringe Cy candidate here for Eovaldi. I mean, fringe only because Skubal and Crochet are so far out in front. First off, Skubal's so far in front of Crochet, then there's Crochet, then there's another gap. But Eovaldi's been unbelievable. Joe, I mean, we don't usually talk so much about the team aspect of things versus fantasy, but like this has to be a killer, right? Justin seems to agree. I think this is maybe not the full nail in the coffin because maybe Kamar Rocker goes off or something, but I think they're probably cooked.
I think they were probably cooked before.
That's the tough part. Yeah. So if you thought that, then they definitely are now.
I mean, they had a chance. Like right now, they're 5.5 games out, but I think that the teams that are currently in playoff spots in both the American and National League are probably the teams that are going to get in. I don't really see any teams jumping up. Kansas City, Texas, especially now. But Eovaldi, to your point, in most seasons, you look at this. Maybe he's a little short on volume, but this is a Cy Young worthy season. He's won half of his starts, which the old voter crowd will like. 1.73 ERA, 0.85 WHIP. He's been phenomenal.
And if you go on the fantasy angle, like our dollars on the player rater, Eovaldi is right behind Crochet. Like that he would be in that tier. They'd both be again a cut below Skubal, but maybe it should be Crochet, Eovaldi right there. Again, he's not going to pitch probably the rest of the year, so his numbers are final, and he won't be getting much, but maybe a down ballot vote here and there. That just sucks though to lose Eovaldi and Wheeler so close together here.
I was literally just about to say, there are like fantasy head-to-head leagues where someone has been coasting on Wheeler and Eovaldi all season long, and all of a sudden they're looking at their playoff roster and they're going, "Oh, I'm screwed now."
That's so devastating, man.
This is why I hate head-to-head. I mean, I play a couple head-to-head leagues, but there's always something that just knocks off the number one team, and this is the type of thing that can do it.
Yeah, because, I mean, you could, again, easily envision putting Eovaldi and Wheeler together. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm just so blown away just looking at the player rater, having it in front of me, that Eovaldi has spotted Skian's 31 innings, and he's out-earned him.
Yeah.
And he's out-earned Wheeler even in 19 fewer innings, and the same with Brown and everybody. It's truly remarkable. It really is. At his age to have done this is unbelievable.
0.85 whip for Eovaldi with the 1.73 ERA. Let's spin it forward on both Eovaldi and Wheeler. We know it's thoracic outlet for Wheeler, much more severe, much more critical. It's the Merrill Kelly one, which is supposed to be better than the other TOSs that we've seen. Justin, I know you start drafts soon. You have already.
Yeah.
But when you start doing your like DCs in October, November, either of these guys, Eovaldi or Wheeler, on your board, even if, like, let's say Eovaldi, they say he's fine. Let's say the season ends, he didn't come back, but they say he's actually fine. He just needs the offseason. That's the news that we get. Are you even taking him, and are you even looking at Wheeler?
No, Wheeler will be completely off my board. I think this is likely the end of Zach Wheeler in terms of relevancy. I mean, he's 36 years old, and now thoracic outlet isn't something that guys don't recover from anymore, but it is something that they don't recover from quickly. I mean, how long did it take Alex Cobb to get back to being a relevant pitcher? And he was never the same. Like, I don't even know if there is a guy that has ever been the same guy. And
it's a light list.
Yeah, and you're talking about 36 years old. Wheeler will be completely off my board. I will probably project 0 innings for him in my projections. I don't want to say Eovaldi will be off my board, but this is kind of what I had projected anyways for Eovaldi. Not the great ratios that we've seen, but like 130 innings.
Yeah, a good season for 130 innings.
But that always pushes him down my ranks in my projections, because
he'll be a year older too.
He'll be a year older, so neither of these guys will be on my team in 2026, which is a bummer, but especially because I love Zach Wheeler. But
he's so good.
I think you have to stay away from these guys.
Joe, do you think you take any Eovaldi anywhere in the fall? And I specify the fall because those early drafts, it's tougher with a guy like that. Maybe when things are clear in the spring, we could all be back in if we're not in the fall. But what about fall drafts with Eovaldi? You think you'll take him in a DC, 50 rounds, draft and hold?
Yeah, my cop-out answer is it would really depend on where the price is going. The benefit to drafting early will be some of that uncertainty around the injury, and you will get a lower cost than we will in March if we hear that he is totally fine. Because if we do, then he's probably not like a top 100 guy, but considering the season he just put together, if he has a clean bill of health heading into next year, people are going to reach fairly high on him probably.
Do we think... I'm trying to mentally place where Eovaldi's going to go with this. He did. Go ahead.
If he's fully healthy, like 120 maybe.
If you are gonna draft Eovaldi, now it'll be the time, like right away, right?
For sure. Absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
I think he goes outside the top 400 picks.
Top 400?
If we don't have news, and we're not gonna have like real news.
I'm just saying, if go with my scenario of like the season ends where they say we're not bringing him back, but we do think with the offseason he's good. Like, let's just say it's there. I don't know if he goes beyond like 250 at that point for Eovaldi.
That's where I'm at.
I'm not drafting him at 250.
He was the 28th starter off the board in the Meatball before all this news and everything.
Poor Bubba, man. What he would give to have this draft a week later. Wheeler and Eovaldi. He's got the pair.
He got both.
Oh
no. Oh, that's brutal. And this is a real league.
And this is why
Oh my God!
Drafting early can suck, right?
Because right. This is absolutely the downside.
And this is why I hate I don't hate. I actually enjoy the Gladiator format because you get to draft early for cheap, and But I have a Gladiator team that was dead on arrival. Absolutely. By the time we actually got to March, I looked back on that team and I went, "Oh, this team sucks. There's no way." I've
lost 3 pillars already.
Yeah, I lost both my closers. It was. I was like, this team can't win.
No, everyone talks about those gems. Oh, I drafted Vinny P in the 25th round before he was anything because I drafted in November. They don't talk about the downside like this, where you draft guys and you end up with, catastrophic injuries. So it works both ways. There's pluses and minuses to when you draft. But generally, the bigger my draft is, the closer I want it to be to the start of the season, of course.
Well, and I think the thing that people don't talk about in terms of these early DC drafts and stuff like that is a lot of these guys are drafting 10, 15, 20 teams. Right.
They're building a portfolio.
Yeah.
It really is we use that sort of terminology, but when you start doing that many drafts of a same type, you really are building a player portfolio.
No one is drafting their only DC team in November.
Right. Absolutely not. No. And I'll be drafting one, but it will be one of several, or maybe not several, but a few. All right, let's get into the Meatball Draft. We covered the infield the other day. We're going to do outfield today, and DH only. So again, there's 3 of them. They are interesting. We got to talk about them. But I have to correct the record on something, and thank you to the comments that helped me out on this. I was talking about Rafael Devers and say, oh, why did he get colored in as a first baseman? Sure, he's going to qualify at both, but isn't he more valuable at third? Doesn't qualify at third, folks. 0 games. Now, I know he hadn't been playing there all year. Obviously, I knew that. But in my mind, he started the season there for a month and then DH. No, literally 0 games. So Devers is first base only. Does that change y'all's outlook? Joe, start with you on Devers as a first base only. Or is first base shallow enough that he's still super valuable?
No, I think he is still incredibly valuable, but he doesn't have it locked in 100% yet, first base. He probably will get it.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's not even guaranteed that. He has 15 games.
He'll probably get it.
He should.
Justin can probably speak more to the day in and day out of what he's seeing there, but it looks like a first base DH alternating every day type of deal. So he'll probably still end up with first base eligibility. And given the season he's put together, I mean, even with the early struggles, it's still been a pretty decent year. A 131 WRC plus, 25 homers, 83 ribbies. I don't like him nearly as much in San Francisco as I did in Boston in terms of the ballpark, the surrounding environment, in terms of the lineup, but he's still, I think, a very valuable player. He went in the third round.
Was the third round too high as a full-time San Francisco Giant, though?
It feels about right. If he slipped into the 4th, I'd be fine with it. I don't think that the 2nd is right. The third does feel like that Goldilocks, just about right spot for me.
I was thinking maybe he should be cheaper. He has a 116 OPS plus, 226, 336, 410 in San Francisco. I'm not going to make everything out of 256 plate appearances, but we all know that, Devers going from Fenway to Oracle, that's a hell of a difference, and it is showing immediately. So
not only is it a hell of a difference in the park, it's a hell of a difference in the team around him, right?
Right.
It's not as good of an offense, just
and the division's tougher.
Yeah.
Right. You do get the Rockies. You get to go to Colorado. That's great. The rest of it's all hard. So not that the AL East was easy or anything. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying it's a really tough division. It's a tough park. I don't know, man. I think third round's too high for me. And I liked Devers coming in the year. I got him in some third rounds, but I think I actually got him in a 4th round because of the injury scare. I remember buying low on Devers. But as a Giant, I'm a little bit nervous. Go ahead.
Why don't we just do a quick would you rather on first base? Would you rather Devers or Kurtz?
Kurtz.
Devers or Pete Alonso?
Pete.
Devers or Naylor?
Naylor.
Probably Naylor, but it's at that point it's a coin flip.
That one's close, but it's Naylor.
Devers or Cody Bellinger?
Devers.
I think it's Bellinger in that
Bellinger.
part.
Yep.
Devers or Freeman? It's a Freeman, right?
Got to be Freeman.
Freeman, yeah.
All right, here's a really interesting one. Devers or the number 1 first baseman on the player rater, Wilson Contreras?
Oh, wow.
The guy who chucks his bat at his coaches and hits them in the face. That guy.
He's number 1. Yeah, he went a little over the top there. Little over the top there, brother.
I'd probably take Devers. I think
Contreras. Yeah, I think I'm out on Devers in San Francisco.
Devers or Vinny P?
Oh, Vinny P, the power hitter now. Vinny P. Yeah.
Devers or Ben Rice?
By the way, this show was right on Vinny P just early, per usual. Ben Rice. Yeah, Ben Rice also has catcher eligibility, so definitely him.
Okay. Devers or Matt Olson?
Devers, Rice will also be cheaper, by the way. That's not a 1-to-1, because now you're getting into some guys that I'm also going to get to pay less for. Who was the last guy you said? I'm sorry?
Matt Olson.
Matty O. I'm not. I think I'm.
At this point, we're now 12 deep.
Yeah, so
I'm not. I feel like we're disrespecting him to some degree at this point, though. He has a career high barrel and hard hit rates this year, career best walk rate, even in this bad season, 131 WRC.
And look what it's gotten him, a 116 in
I will say
San Francisco.
We should give him a little bit of credit for an adjustment period in San Francisco because it is a much different park.
I think so.
He'll have a full season. So I don't think we should bury him outside the top 15 first baseman, which we were about to do.
No. No.
Do any lefties thrive in San Francisco since Bonds?
Not really.
Then what are we talking about?
But have they had a left-handed hitter of that
They haven't
caliber?
had. Yeah, they haven't had a power.
Mike
hitter of that
Yastrzemski,
caliber.
thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that
It's fair.
I
That's a
definitely
good point.
agree that he shouldn't be going in the first 2 to 3 rounds. But
243 BABIP at home should improve.
I'm just interested to see where he falls in some of these drafts that we'll see early on, because all of a sudden you're like, if he's not a top 10 first baseman, he's not going not just in the first 4 rounds, but maybe not in the first 6 or 7 rounds.
See, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking
And
5,
then,
6,
and then
7
I'm like,
rounds.
okay,
Now I'm in.
That's a place I'll take.
I want him in that group that you were comparing him to, though, not in the 3rd round. I think that's my big beef here is price point
I didn't
on
even
Devers.
say Torkelson, Harper. You know,
Harper over him for sure. Torque, I think I'll go Devers.
You know,
Yes.
Michael Bush has been pretty damn good this year.
Bush, I mean, I think it's look,
I think I'm taking Devers over Bush, but
I
like,
might be disrespecting him, but it's mostly the park, and who's beating that park as a lefty is my problem.
for me, it's the park and the team around him.
Yeah, the team around him also not super sweet. So, we'll see there. But either way, not third base, not yet first base either, but very, 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 very likely to at least achieve that. So thank you on the comments for helping me out on that one. I definitely marked that.
So, someone brought that up in my chat, and I just completely threw you under the bus. I was like, this is Paul's fault.
You didn't correct it,
Nope.
so you didn't know either. So it's not
You
all
weren't
my
there.
fault.
You weren't there to defend yourself, so it was easy.
Rude. Let's talk some outfielders, y'all. Let's see. We had in the Meatball Draft here, for those that didn't listen to the last episode, we are covering the Meatball Draft, 11 rounds of a draft that's going to count. This is not just a mock of 15 folks from around the fantasy industry run by Rob DiPietro, Ryan Bloomfield, Bubba, I think that's James Anderson, Jenny Butler, Greg Martin, Phil Dussault, John Fish, great group in there, Steve Weimer, a bunch of other folks too that I didn't name because I don't have all the names committed to memory. But
I have
a lot
all
of
the names
fun.
committed to memory. Jake
Good.
Hallisker, Mike Mager, Dom Rello, Ryan Roof.
It's a murderer's row.
Yeah,
It ain't no easy swim in there. They took 35 outfielders in their 11 rounds here. Of course, Judge was the first one. Were you guys surprised that Carroll was the second one? Justin, start with you.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little, right? Like, not like, oh my God, holy shit, but like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I'm not sure that I even know who I would definitively say is ahead of him, but it took me about a little bit of back.
To me, it's like Judge is in a tier of his own, obviously.
Right.
And then we have a group of like 5, 6, 7, 8 guys that you, depending on how you feel, right?
You put Acuna in there.
Yeah, for me, there is a guy that probably shouldn't be in there, and then there's a guy that should be in there. Yeah, PCA shouldn't be in there for me, and Acuna should.
Yeah,
and Wood probably as well. Yeah.
No, I'm with you on all that, Joe. Where do you come out on Carroll number 2 and that sort of group there that could definitely rotate? Like if someone took Soto, J-Rod, Chorio, Tucker, Tatis, even Acuna, if you fully believe, I could understand it. I'm not going to do it, but I think there's a rotating cast there for that number 2 spot. Who do you like there, Joe?
Yeah, Acuna feels like he fell a lot more than I expected. I was like, the day before they did this draft, I knew they were going to do it, and I was kind of just thinking in my head, okay, he's probably going 4th or 5th. So to see him go in the 2nd round, I was kind of surprised by that. I guess I understand it with the risk.
Back into the 2nd round.
That feels like that's not going to happen come March, I don't think. If he's healthy, there's no way. So that's a great pairing. Ellie and Acuna, I don't know if we're going to see too many of those teams.
It's fantastic.
But for Carroll, I mean, it's been kind of quiet, honestly, but he's having the best season of his career this year.
Yeah.
And no one is really talking about it. But Corbin Carroll has already equaled his best F4 at 5.3. He's got a career high 27 homers. The speed isn't there like it was in his first couple of years. He's only got 20 steals.
Still 20 for 24. That's still excellent.
Still excellent. You're still getting a career high OPS at 885. The barrel rate and the hard hit rates are what really pop off the page. He's only been in the 7% range. He's at 15. Hard hit had been in the at 40, and it's at 50 now. Dude, so he is a stud.
Rules.
He's a stud. Now, the speed not being there and the team around him probably looking a little bit rough next year, because this is a team last season that led Major League Baseball in runs.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do that again. This offense, without Suarez, without Naylor now, there's no more Christian Walkers. Marte, who knows what's going to happen there with the supposed turmoil he might get traded.
I don't know what they're going to do, man.
So I don't know what the supporting cast looks like necessarily, but in terms of just Carroll as a standalone, he is, I think, the number 2 outfielder for me right now. But I don't have any problem taking Soto or J-Rod or Acuna as well.
No, I like that, though. And I think you can be a little bit more definitive with it if he's your guy, right? I think someone can make their case for J-Rod and say, you know what, I'm not going to freak out for the first half because I know he'll get hot in the second half. And Soto, I still think, has the juice there. If you're committed to kind of getting your more premium speed later, although he has contributed there sneakily. Did you guys know he's at 21 steals, Soto?
More than Carroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, 32-21 with a 251 average. I mean, he's unbelievable. So you could easily take Soto there. It's a great group. Outfield, has those superstars. Justin, you alluded to it, and I agree. I'm not sold on PCA yet. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think you're wrong at all. I mean, everything. Now, I want to say I'll eat the crow on being wrong on his overall stat line, but the skills have still been a problem in the second half, and that is concerning for me because I do wonder, like, hey, do pitchers start to kind of figure out PCA because all of a sudden he is not doing the things he was doing in that first half. He swings outside of the zone too much. He's actually making league average zone contact, which is good, but swing and strike rate at 16.5%. Like, I just think these underlying hit tool issues will kind of creep up, and he kind of reminds me of a Michael Harris-ish type hitter, and that is scary to me. When we saw what Michael Harris did at the beginning of the season, we don't know when that's going to come for Pico Armstrong, and so I'm going to feel the same way about Pico Armstrong that I felt about Michael Harris last few years, which is his guy is probably a 4th-round hitter going in the second round, and that's a mistake for me.
Joe, I truly couldn't agree more here. PCA is just not someone I'm going to buy the surge on, despite the 30-30 season. He's 2 homers away from it. It could be a 40-40 season if he really goes crazy on the power. I guess he would need to go crazy on both. But either way, it's a marvelous season. Do you buy the surge on PCA paying second round? Because I think he's going to live in the second round.
I think if we're talking standard like home leagues where a lot of people have already tuned out this time, he's going in the first round, I think, honestly.
That's even worse.
I agree it's even worse, but I think it's going to happen. Like if you're looking at just Yahoo, ESPN, standard leagues with your buddies, he's going to go 33 and 37 or something like that. Like even with his struggles, if we look at the player rater right now, he is the number 12 player. He's still been a first rounder. So I think there will be people who are kind of dreaming on, well, what if he does adjust back and we don't see the struggles in the second half? Is he a 40-40 guy? I'm not willing to pay that price for him. For me, he'll probably be, like Justin said, a 4th, maybe a 3rd round value that people are going to push into the second. But I don't think it's crazy to think, well, maybe he could make some adjustments and become a 30-30 guy perennially, just based on what we've seen over half a year at age 23.
The upside's there, but you're paying for it. Right.
You know what his stat line in the second half is?
What? Horrendous. It's horrendous.
It is 3 home runs, 3 stolen bases. He's hitting 218, 267, 395.
It's awful.
And you're saying that's not
80,
good.
82 WRC plus.
Yikes.
Yeah, so but this is what you're going to get, and so. Not saying he's going to be like this the whole season, but
no.
He's going to have these massive ups and downs, right? Yeah. Like this is one of those guys that, hey, if he starts off cold at the beginning of the season, you buy low on him in a trade.
Right.
Pick him up off the wire. But this is one of those guys you need to be able, if you're going to draft him, especially where you have to draft him, you have to just commit and go, I know that this is going to be brutal at times, but you're kind of pot committed on Pico Armstrong if you draft him next year. I don't think you should.
Because it's just a this year tax thing. Because why is he going so far ahead of?
Because he's the number 3 outfielder on the player rater.
Exactly, it's all that, and that's why he's going. Why wouldn't you just wait for Jarren Duran or James Wood? Yeah. James Wood, bit of a different setup there, admittedly. But even Luis Robert in the 6th, I'd rather just take the other Chicago center fielder, given their prices right now.
Yeah, I could see that. What do you think will be the auction price for PCA? Like 25, 26?
I'll defer to Justin there.
It'll be closer to 30.
30?
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah, 30, 30.
There will
30
always
for 30
be
30.
There will be two guys in an auction that will push that to 30 for sure.
Yeah.
It certainly feels like it. Let's talk a little James Wood, because he went there in the third round, which I think is a really fair price. Obviously, this guy has sky-high talent, got an MVP caliber season, if not multiples, coming eventually. Don't know if it'll be next year or not. Joey leads baseball with 177 strikeouts. You know, we talk a lot about that with some of these young guys. I feel like he doesn't get that rap as much. James Wood, he doesn't get the O'Neill Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, even PCA, like we just talked about. He doesn't catch the rap as much with his 31% K rate. Yeah. Partly because he balances it out with a 12% walk rate. And that's what none of those other guys do, is they don't have the balancing patience to go with it, because that means that a lot of this, that at least some of the strikeouts aren't just flailing. When you get in deep counts all the time, you're going to have strikeouts. The opposite field power is unbelievable for Wood. 26 bombs this year, 15 for 21 on the bases. 259 average is pretty good. Did you guys know there's like 2 people in the National League hitting over 300 this year? 308 is like the league lead. So 259 is not bad. Anyway, all that lead up to say, I think James Wood is kind of a sneak little bargain, a high-end bargain in the third round. Joe, what do you think about Wood next year?
Yeah, I mean, the things we were saying about PCA, we could say a lot of the same things about James Wood, about how the league has really adjusted to him in this second half. I know he's turned things around a little bit, but as a whole in the second half, 42% strikeout rate. He has a 602 OPS, 69 WRC plus, 2 homers, 3 steals. Like, it's kind of the same arguments, but the fact that you're getting him around later, I think that is pretty appealing for a guy with his power, with the speed contributions. Like, I think in a good year, you're still going to get probably 20 plus stolen bases out of him with the potential for 35 plus homers. So this feels like a great price. Like, beginning of the third round, I don't know if I'd want to go super, super high up above that, just because, again, the same things with PCA. What if he doesn't adjust back immediately? What if some of these struggles linger into next season? The Nationals absolutely suck. So you got to factor in some of those things.
Wait. I think
they're moving in the right direction, at least.
They're going in the right direction. I was in on them coming in the year. They didn't pan out the way I wanted. I still think that spry offense that I saw, the elements, they're actually coming together a little bit more in the second half. I still like it. Anyway, not to derail. Go ahead, Justin. What you got?
I do think that there is an argument that PCA should be going ahead of Wood.
Because of his pure speed?
His defense, man. Like, that defense will keep Pico Armstrong in the lineup no matter what.
True.
Not saying that Wood's going to lose playing time, but having that elite tool that helps so much for their pitchers.
Could I spin that back as a negative and say that puts him in more danger and he can get hurt more often?
I mean, I think you can say that. I also think you can make the argument that maybe you don't want Pete Crow Armstrong playing every day in your lineup when he's batting 211.
Right. No, so, but that was definitely a devil's advocate thing, because I do like to look at the defensive piece and say that that's going to guarantee guys playing time. And I wish that had clued me in more on Bryce Terang, right? Because that was kind of a nice sell on him, was like, you're guaranteed the PT. And I just never came around on him. And my mistake 2 years in a row on Terang, especially when he fits a principle that I generally care about, which is that defense guaranteeing playing time. All right, let's go to the 2 guys at the end of the third round there. Riley Green and Roman Anthony, both a little bit different, right? Because Green's got years under his belt already, but boy, has he really come through. And Justin, you and I have talked about in the past that we weren't the biggest Green fans. We weren't really seeing the vision. I think it's pretty safe to say that we were wrong.
I was wrong.
The power is way better than either of us thought.
I comped him to a prime Melky Cabrera.
Yes, and I was saying Michael Brantley, and he's got less hit tool, but way more power than Brantley. Yeah. So we were wrong there. So 31.95 right now. So going to have his first 3,100 season, but he leads the American League in strikeouts. So he is, the American League James Wood here, obviously a couple years older. What's in store for Riley Green going forward? Can he bring those Ks down and get back to that 288 average that we saw back in 2023 with this power?
It's been another guy who has had a huge difference in his first half versus the second half. Especially in the underlying skills. Like, his second half skills, Riley Green has been absolutely dreadful. Not to say he was like a great underlying skills guy from a contact perspective, at the beginning of the first half, but it's definitely gotten worse. In the second half, he's got a 77% zone contact. He's swinging outside the zone 32% of the time, 15% swinging strike rate. I hate these skills. Like
he has gotten back on track a little bit, but his cold streak was a big part of the Tigers' lull for Riley Green. He was striking out on everything, coming up with runners on, and not coming through. It was tough. But I'm with you on the swing and miss. It scares me.
He probably, he's not a guy that I've obviously liked in the past. I don't think I'm going to be in on this type of draft pick. Like that, it feels so weird for Riley Green, to be going at the back end of the third round when there are going to be guys like Roman Anthony. There are going to be guys like Jarren Duran. And
wait. Anthony goes one pick later, and he ain't done shit in the majors. Hang on. This wasn't meant to dump on Riley Green. Shit. Turn this ship around. 266, 31, 95. I mean, there's no speed there. You got to get some speed elsewhere. But, let's not go too far on the Riley Green train. He has made it work with the strikeouts, Justin. They've been there forever, and he's hit 288, 262, and 266. 253 in his first year, sorry. But since then, it's been 288, 262, and 266. And like I said earlier, 260s, high 250s these days is actually pretty good with where we're at with batting average. Are you being a little harsh here? Is 3,100 not good enough for the third round?
Maybe it is. Probably not the profile I'm looking for in the third round.
I'm okay with not being in on him, but I think the price is okay.
You're probably right. I mean, maybe I am being a little too harsh. I definitely feel like this is the place where I'm going to be taking a pitcher, though. I'm probably going to be staying away from a lot of these hitters in the third, fourth round, and really hitting up the pitching pool, getting a closer, getting a starter, after starting hitter, just so I can kind of avoid these guys who have these kind of flaws.
Oh, we will talk about those pitchers on Thursday for sure. Joe, you got anything to add on Riley Green, or do you want to talk Roman Anthony?
I like Riley Green. I think it's a fairly reasonable price. There is a chance that he ends up, he's probably not hitting 40, but 38 homers, 110 ribbies. He might get up to the 270 range. The third round feels right if you've accounted for speed in the first round. I feel like
Can I give you a contact skills comp that might scare Paul?
Oh God, what?
Adolis Garcia.
Oh, come on, man.
Where if you're not making consistent contact,
I live through it. I watch every game.
The skill, the ability to make that hard contact can disappear because you're just not making enough of it. And we're talking about a guy who's way below, in the second half, way below that 80% zone contact threshold that I always kind of reference. And that's scary to me. And maybe this is just a lull and he'll be fine, but he's been kind of an 80% guy, at the beginning of the season when he was doing better. I am a little concerned that this is one of those profiles that could crumble without warning. And that for me means I'm probably not taking him third or fourth round.
Wow, you nailed the Adolis Garcia, though, just looking at the plate discipline stuff. I know that's exactly what Paul wants to hear.
31-7, right? 31K, 7% walk. That is Garcia for sure. And it does put him at risk. I think Riley Green is at risk for a 230 average if the BABIP doesn't go well, right?
Green is younger than Adolis was,
right?
When
24.
he fell off. So
absolutely.
We also want to give room for, hey, this is a top prospect, or a guy who was a top prospect. Mm-hmm. He's 24. He still has room for growth.
And took a major power step this year, too.
Absolutely.
30 points of ISO added for Riley Green's total, which is why he has 31 bombs. So more bombs this year in fewer games.
We also see things like this happen where people are like, well, he's 24 and he just took a massive step, and now he can take another massive step.
Keep going. Yeah, not necessarily.
And that doesn't always work that way, Jeremy Pena. Sometimes that is the high water mark.
Well, and sometimes they come back and then come back around 2 years later.
And I don't think I want to buy this.
That's the thing. Do you want to buy high on Green here?
No, I'd rather buy low on him in 2027.
I lean no as well, even being a Tigers fan. I maybe am a little bit. Now, James Anderson, obviously, prospect genius to the Stars. He took Roman Anthony in the fourth, so obviously, if he's cashing in on a prospect, it comes from a foundation of a lot of, expertise expressed there. End of the third round for 63 games of major leagues. I don't know, man. I know we move guys up these days, right? This is a different world that we live in. My old ass. Time to adjust, Grandpa. I understand, and I'm open to it. I took Bobby Witt in the fourth round of the Maine in his, rookie year or whatever. So I can get hip with it. How do you do, fellow kids? But have we seen enough from Roman Anthony here? Joe, I'll start with you. With his excessive strikeout rates. Now, he brings the walk rate, so he's more in the James Wood mold, where the K rates are high, 27%, but a very nice 14% walk rate. Does balance that out a bit for me. 6 homers, 4 steals, but it's 63 games. I just don't know if I can make that commitment just yet to the 22-year-old. He'll be 22 next year, 21 this year. Roman Anthony, what do you think?
I mean, I love everything that we've seen from Roman Anthony. He is a lot of fun to watch. He's hit the ground running. This feels like we're going to have a Wyatt Langford type of trajectory from last season, where he starts in the third, fourth round, and then by the time March comes around, we're seeing Roman Anthony go as a turn pick, or maybe like 17th, 18th, 19th overall, like we saw with Langford. Does that feel about right to you guys too? We're going to get there?
Oh, yeah, no, I can definitely see that, and I'm terrified of that. What if he goes, Evan Carter on us, who had that great rookie year? And then
Evan Carter had some massive flaws that people just ignored, though.
Because of the playoffs, yeah. People just look right past him.
I mean, Evan Carter was always a guy who struggled against left-handed pitching, always had injury issues throughout the minor leagues. Roman Anthony doesn't have those kind of question marks.
Yes, he does. He hasn't hit lefties, and he strikes out a bunch, too, and he takes walks. I think that's actually a really good comp. God damn, I'm smart.
I mean, here's my thing, right? So Roman Anthony, since the beginning of August, is hitting 291, 387, 494 with 4 home runs and 2 stolen bases. Yes, he is striking out at a 31% clip, but the underlying contact skills say, yeah, he's probably not gonna. He's got a 10.5% swinging strike rate, 83% zone contact is right below league average. He doesn't swing outside of the zone at all. He knows how to take a walk. Honestly, if we're talking comps, and we've talked some comps, I think his second year is going to look much closer to Junior Camanaro's than it will Evan Carter's.
Well, it won't look like Evan Carter's if he stays healthy, right? Obviously, Evan Carter fell apart due to health. I was just saying a guy who came up rookie, looked great. We jumped and ran into the abyss there. Caminero, by the way, how sick has he been? I don't know that we didn't really dive in on him.
I was wrong on Caminero. I was absolutely dead wrong on Caminero.
He's a bomb and 6 ribs from 40 a hundo. Throw in 3 steals for a tenner there.
Yeah.
What a season. And my man can just legally drink this year. Unbelievable. Just on July 5th. Oh, wait, he turned 22 on July 5th. Sorry. Age 21 season. So, yeah, he's been 21 for a while. But either way, unbelievable.
I wanted to mention one thing about Caminero while we're on him. The home and away splits are pretty drastic, and with the fact that they might be going back,
are they?
They might be going back to the Trop next year. I thought that was the plan. No.
Oh, I thought they were playing another year there. I
thought they were playing another year too. I bet I could be wrong.
Okay, I could be wrong there too, because just looking at it, like he's been fantastic, but away from home, it's a 207 batting average. It's a 726 OPS.
What's
that? 94 WRC plus. The BABIP away from home.
Joe's right.
Very low.
The Tropicana Field is expected to reopen by March 2026.
Okay.
The BABIP is low away from home. To your point, Paul, it's 182.
Okay.
It's 182. So that's definitely a factor. I just was curious if that was going to be something that pops into your heads at all.
No,
at home, he's been a god. He's been a god at home.
I hope it will bring things down a little bit with Caminero. I mean, he was a first rounder. Bubba took him in the first.
No, he'll be a first rounder.
I don't know. I don't think I agree. I don't think he's a firm for. Well, I'm going to say it really depends on how the final 5 weeks go, because if he has 50 bombs, if he hits 11 more, which the way he's hitting right now, then yeah, all bets off, and I will concede to you on that.
I mean, I think he'll be like that borderline first, second kind of turn guy.
But then you don't think the news, like when it's confirmed, let's say whatever that period is, you don't think from that point forward Caminero will be more second round if they are confirmed back in the Trop? With the same reason that Joe's talking about, the home run split?
I would say yes if there were any yellow in the second round. because usually what we see is like, oh, there's a bunch of pitchers going in the.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize it.
There's
Sorry to
not a
interrupt you.
single
Not a
pitcher
single one, dude.
Yeah, we'll talk about this more on Thursday, obviously, with the pitching. But there is an elite tier of 3, and then everybody else. And I don't think any of those guys move their way up into that first round discussion. And so I think Caminero, I think he's going to be kind of locked in that 15, 16 turn. Maybe he falls to, the 13th pick of the second round, or the third pick of the second round, to team 13. But like, I think I think Caminero is probably a top 20 pick pretty easily next year.
I can see it. I mean, again, he's going to have 40-something bombs, maybe 50 the way he's dialed. But yeah, nice little Caminero tangent there. So Roman Anthony, the reason we started talking Caminero is because Justin said his second season could look a little bit more like Caminero's than Evan Carter's or even Wyatt Langford, who, wasn't bad, but didn't pay off on his draft hype last year, right? He went 16-19 with a 115 OPS. That was not second, third round worthy, which is where Wyatt Langford, or was it third? It was third, fourth round, not second, third, right?
I think it bounced.
This year?
I think it bounced
last year, Joe.
I
think it was third, fourth last year.
Yeah, third, fourth last year, and then this year it was.
And then this year bumped up again, and still hasn't really paid it off. I mean, he's a good player. Like, he's a really good player, and that's kind of. I guess let's just bring him up then. Wyatt Langford. He ended up going here
6th
as the 19th outfielder off the board, 6th round, as Joe mentions, after Cody Bellinger and Arozarena, and then right before Michael Harris and Luis Robert Jr. Interesting little quintet there of power speed mix. With Langford, do we finally get the full scale breakout, or is this just who he is, Justin? Is he like the Andrew Benintendi these days? 2020, he's fine, but not a superstar, or does he finally find health, 150 plus games, 30-30? What's up with Langford next year?
I think it really does. A lot of it comes down to health. Is he going to be able to stay on the field and kind of reach this potential? He's had a weird second half where he's only hit 260, 4 home runs, 3 stolen bases, but showing more signs of life here recently. So I don't know. I think this is a guy that has unlimited upside. I just don't know if we're ever really going to see it. And he maybe turns into this guy who hits 260s, 25-25, and that's great.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
that's a great guy, but it's not the superstar I think a lot of people thought he would be.
No, but if he keeps punching tickets on 4 or 5 win seasons and then spikes a 7-8 in there once or twice, I mean, that obviously would be amazing. Joe, Wyatt Langford, what's that?
That would be a Hall of Famer.
Right. I mean, I just described a brilliant player, of course. Yeah, but if the fantasy isn't there, I think he would still have that air of like, oh, he kind of fell short. And it's like, no. Maybe in fantasy, but in real life, no. Are there more levels here? He's going to be 24, right? Still a baby, Langford.
Yeah.
I can see a ton more, but are you seeing it? Are you buying the 6th round price, which I believe is a discount from this previous season?
Yeah, I mean, by the end of draft season, I saw him as a turn pick a few times in the main event.
I remember that.
Not that I was playing the main event, but I remember seeing those boards like, what the hell? And I understand it just because the data has always been so good, and it continues to be very good. Like, he has a 13% barrel rate, 47% hard hit, 91 average EV, 17-degree launch angle. Those are check across the board. 23% O swing, 86% zone contact, 11% swinging strike. These are all things we like to see. Just a matter of health, like we mentioned. I think it's been the oblique that's kept getting him this year, like 3 different times. It's been a couple things, but I believe the oblique has been the most serious one. If he is able to play 160 or even 150 games, I could see him having a couple of years where he is a first-round fantasy player, but just timing those years is going to be really tricky. I think getting him in the 6th round, though, that feels like a really good price.
Yeah, Wyatt Langford might be a buy-the-dip guy. Like, he was picked 30 this year with a min of 17, to your point, Joe, about seeing him on the turn. Go ahead, Justin.
I think he's a 4th-round player. Like, I
think 6th round is a good price on Langford.
It's a great price.
If this sticks around, I'll be in.
Won't. There's no way it's 6th round, right?
We'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Up before him PCA, it wouldn't shock me.
How's this hit y'all's ear, by the way? So, he is the 16th outfielder off the board, as we mentioned. Or 19th, excuse me. 19th last year. so the draft, or for this year, I should say, for this year, was Teoscar Hernandez, who went in the 4th round, and we're 19th outfielders in the 6th round. Isn't that kind of weird? 2 extra rounds there. So the outfield is being stretched out. Other things are kind of dotting in between it. I think that feels like a big change. I don't know what to make of it.
That was the 19th outfielder last year in the Meatball, or by ADP?
By ADP. So I don't know.
The early nature of the draft might just be messing with some of that a little bit with the pitchers not going as high. Like, it just might be some early draft kind of stuff.
Well, wouldn't you go higher then? When the 18th outfielder, 19th outfielder go higher then? Yeah, because the relievers don't go as high, which we'll talk about on Thursday, because it's a standalone, so you don't have to get saves. You could feasibly punt, but that would move the hitters up.
I mean, there were no pitchers in the 2nd, but the 3rd and 4th is like all pitchers. So I mean, maybe that's where it is. Maybe that's why.
I think it also speaks a little bit to the strength of the other positions.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is they pumped up strength.
Yeah, I think that there's such strength, especially at the top of the draft, at positions like third base and first base that weren't there last year, that outfield may have gotten a little bit less prioritized in this draft.
No, I think that makes some sense. It just stood out to me there that it was a 2-round dip there to get to Langford. And again, he was surrounded by really interesting guys. And speaking of Teoscar Hernandez, he is down to the 22nd outfielder, which again is obviously lower than he was this year. How do we feel about him? Is Teoscar somebody that, given his profile, do you maybe want to jump early as opposed to maybe holding on too long with him? Justin, we've been longtime fans. I know you've loved Teoscar. Another solid season, nothing to really complain. I mean, it's been fine. 21 bombs, 51 runs, 77 ribs, 5 steals, 248 average. Very much in the Teoscar bands of outcomes. 33 next year. Do you stay the course here as a top 25 outfielder, or do you maybe push away before the 220 average comes?
Yeah, I mean, this definitely has the feelings of that Adolis Garcia profile, right? That we were just referencing. He's not a guy who makes a lot of contact in the zone. He can strike out too much, and it just seems like we're starting to see the decline on the 32-year-old, going to be 33-year-old in next year. To me, the craziest part is like the counting stats being on the Dodgers haven't been as amazing as we kind of expected them to be. 77 RBI,
they've been through some lulls.
Yeah,
right?
But this is a team that is aging right before us.
Absolutely.
Not to say they're going to be bad or anything by any stretch of the imagination. They're still the Dodgers. But the guys in the lineup,
they're going to replenish with youth too, right?
I would think so. I mean, all that money is deferred, so they can throw another 3-year, $45 million contract to someone and rebolster things. So.
Yeah, I think, right now they're running Miguel Rojas consistently at second base. He's 36 years old. Conforto, he's not coming back.
Would look good there.
That would be kind of interesting. Obviously, that would make him much younger.
I don't think Diamondbacks are trading him to
that'd
the
be
Dodgers,
crazy.
Please no.
Who I really like is this Alex Freeland guy for them. But anyway, we don't need to get derailed on that. Teoscar is under contract for another year, right?
Yeah. Teoscar has, I believe, 2 more years.
Oh, yeah. No, he's good. He's good for a while, and he has like team vesting stuff, so he could be around for a minute.
He's got a club option in 2028.
Okay, so he's all good there. But yeah, the price isn't terrible. In the 7th round there, early 7th round, but I'm probably leaning away from him. Just look at the next 3 guys: Yelich, Simpson, Buxton. I realize Simpson is very team dependent, but I think even in a vacuum of just straight up team context, I kind of want all 3 of them. Well, I think I want Rafaela more than him too.
It's the guys that go after that group that are really interesting to me. It's
Merrill.
Are we buying low on Jackson Merrill?
All day
at that price. Are we buying low on Brenton Doyle? Are we buying low on Lawrence Butler and Dylan Cruz? Kerry Carpenter,
I'm buying all those guys.
Kerry Carpenter winning the 11th. I think I'm passing on Teoscar for a lower price one of those guys.
The last one you said is the perfect reason I'm skipping.
Yeah, because you're getting
Kerry Carpenter is in the 11th round versus Teoscar in the 7th. I'm sorry, what's the difference at a 4-round discount? I'm taking that all day. Joe, where you at on Teoscar here? You think? By the way, they put free agent next to him on the board. He's not a free agent.
No, he's
no. We looked it up. No,
he's got 2 more years and a team option.
Yeah, 2 more years locked, and then some stuff that he can stick around, and it could be a vesting for even a 4th year if things like really went well. But go ahead, Joe, on Teoscar Hernandez.
I mean, he became who he is as a Blue Jay, and I loved watching him in Toronto. I became very familiar with him. I think that he's still probably going to be fine. And at the end of the day, like in a vacuum, the 7th round is not a terrible price to pay. The Dodgers, even though they have, kind of disappointed a little bit, they still lead Major League Baseball in runs this year, and they're 2nd in WRC+. So, yes, they have disappointed for sure, and Teoscar having 51 runs scored this year is kind of eye-popping, but I don't think we can look at it as like this is a huge regression candidate offense. I think they're still going to be fine. Teoscar could be somebody you probably still project for 25 homers in the 80 to 90 RBI range.
You know who this is? This is outfield Eugenio Suarez.
Yeah.
In 2023, he went 22.96 with a 232. I was like, oh, that sucks. This guy's cooked. 3,100, 256 last year, 98 this year. 2 ribbies away from another hundo. Like, it's still in the cards for Teoscar, and I think the price point is at a spot where I could pay it. He's not too expensive. If he moves up, though, I think this is it. I think anything above the 7th round, I don't buy him.
Agreed.
I could pay the 7th round in the right situation.
I guess that goes to show you, do not go to Seattle.
No, I mean, it's so hard, right, in that park. And we kind of knew that, Suarez was probably going to cool down regardless, even if he had stayed with Arizona. But then going to one of the most difficult parks, and all of a sudden you got a 71 OPS plus in 23 games with Seattle. That's really, really tough to look at there. Let's talk Yelich and Buxton, 2 older guys. And I know, at least maybe I'm alone on this one, but Buxton still feels young to me. Obviously, he's not. He's 32. He's been around for a long time, but I think it's because we've gotten such little game action year in, year out that he almost feels like, oh, no, he's still 26. No, he's 32. But he is having a nice year. 25-19. The steals are back with a vengeance. First double-digit season since 2019, and he's just casually 19 for 19. 268 average, 25 bombs, 99 games, so still misses time. That's the Buxton experience. You're signing up for that, which does make him a better bet in shallower formats where you can more easily replace him. But Justin, how do you feel about Byron Buxton in this area? 7th, 8th round range? Is that somebody that you can see yourself buying?
No.
Just too darn injury prone?
Too darn. I mean, he's got, 424 plate appearances. It's the 2nd most of his career. The last time he got over this was in 2017. I want to commend everybody in this draft, though, for not, shooting him up higher than he is. But this is still too high for me. And like I said, there's so many guys I'd rather just buy back in on for next season that go the next round or the next few rounds in this draft that there's no way I'm paying the price on Byron Buxton here.
No, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and blame you on that. Sometimes I give you some trouble about being too quote unquote safe prone or whatever. But with Buxton, what am I going to say? Nah, dude, he does kind of sneaky stay healthy. No, he's like the most injury prone guy in the game. I will never shade anybody for just saying it's a headache I don't want to deal with. Yelich, on the other hand, probably has a reputation that's similar to that, but in actuality, it's not nearly as bad. Now, he did play just 73 games last year, but he's back up to $125 this year. He's quietly awesome. Now, he'll be 34 next year, Joe, but is Yelich somebody that you can see yourself buying in the 7th, 8th round range? 26.90 with 15 of 20 steals, 269 average as well, and a nice 77 runs for Yelich.
I mean, it's insane. He's the number 4 outfielder on the season. It's
wow. I would not have guessed that.
Judge, Soto, PCA, and then Yelich is a $26 player.
I love Yelich, dude.
I love him too, but I don't love his back, and I don't think he likes it either. And like you said, maybe it's a little bit overblown at this point, but every year that you get older, I don't know what to make of the back. And he's going to be 34 years. He's going to be 34 years old. I just don't know if I want to be the one pulling the trigger on Yelich, unless I've constructed like a super safe team. But I mean, we don't even know what that is at the end of the day. Who knows what safe is in a given year?
Well, especially if you're drafting like when they were drafting here in August, there is no such thing. So you just kind of go with the talent. But yeah, he is a risky bet. Yelich is for sure.
He hasn't locked in outfield eligibility either. He's 2 games shy.
Oh, word.
They're DHing him a lot. Like,
well, they have so many good outfielders that I can't even blame them even a little bit.
He'll get there. 2 more games is not.
He'll get there.
I agree. He'll get there, but like I'm not even surprised, right?
You kind of love it though, right? Because it helps him stay on the field.
Exactly.
So, like,
get him 20 exactly, and then no more.
I feel like this is the steal right here. Like I'm all over Christian Yelich if he.
I think I kind of am too.
Like,
if he stays in the 7th round,
yeah,
or he could go down. Justin, 34 years old. We know how the fantasy age is.
Down as the pitchers start to fly up too. Like and all these catchers in that area. Like I think those guys will start to push up too because people want that good first catcher in these big 2 catcher leagues. So I actually really love Yelich here. I think this is. You've got so much volatility around him in Chandler Simpson, in Byron Buxton, in Cedane Rafaela, and Yelich is just like, hey, I'm going to book some stats right here and be totally fine. I actually really like what Jake Hausker did at Team 8 with his draft, including Christian Yelich.
Yeah, and then he ended up with Soto, Yelich, and Butler as his 3 outfielders. I really do like that as well. Chandler Simpson. Joe, I think the audience knows mine and Justin's feelings on rabbits, the steal only type guys, or at least the steal mostly, where you're putting a lot of your steals, eggs in their basket. In the case of guys like Simpson, he's bringing a 302 average. So I don't want to say steals only on him. That isn't fair. But it is no power, literally none, 0 homers. So you need to make that up. Are you somebody that takes the rabbits, and how do you construct your teams if and when you do?
There haven't been so many extreme examples like this in the last couple years outside of like Billy Hamilton.
And he wasn't as good of a hitter. This is a good hitter right now, 302 average.
Yeah, Billy Hamilton was a much better defender if memory serves.
Yes.
But Chandler Simpson, his defense leaves something to be desired, which I guess 100%. Could potentially hurt because if he's going through a spell at the dish where he's just not hitting, and the defense is also sucking, maybe then they give him a rest, whereas a guy like Billy Hamilton would have more of a leash. But in terms of just, like, in general, do I like this profile? It's not my favorite for fantasy unless you really, really factor it into your team build, which Ryan did here. This is a very deliberate plan. Schwarber, Raleigh, Chandler Simpson, Jacob Wilson. This is a very deliberate plan.
Right.
If you have that in mind and you know what you're going to do, I'm okay with it. There are worlds where he is very valuable. If he steals 70 bases, he hits 300, and he scores 100 times, that's amazing. And you can figure out the power.
Even 85 runs with 370 would be fine to me.
Yeah, and he does feel like a guy who could pretty easily steal 70. He's played 82, so you can do the easy 2x.
Yep.
He's at 38 steals. 38 steals. He does get caught a lot. He's been caught 11 times, but you don't even care at that point. You're getting 3 categories from him, pretty secured. Especially if you're playing in a head-to-head league and you have Chandler Simpson, you're winning stolen bases 23 out of 26 weeks of the year. So I think there are definitely team builds where it works. If you are not factoring it in and you're just like, okay, you know what, it's 15 home runs, it doesn't matter. Like, no, you need to be deliberate and take some guys for power maybe a little bit earlier than you normally would if you take Chandler Simpson. But this feels like a good price. This is right around pick 100 overall. This feels fine to me.
My concern is that it goes up, because I do think that this is actually fine. As an anti-rabbit drafter, unless I go in with like the dead set plan on it, I always talk about how I can't do it on the fly, like if he fell to me, because I probably haven't planned for it. This isn't a bad price in the 7th round for Chandler Simpson. I think it'll go up. I think he's going to be like a 4th, 5th rounder. And at that point, it'll be too much for me. We're going to see 40-something steals, probably 50 if he plays every day the rest of the way down the stretch. If it is with the 300 average, I might even be light at 4th, 5th. It could end up being some 3rd BS.
That would be I'd be so far out at the 3rd.
I mean, absolutely. But that's what we would be looking at here. We all seem to love Jackson Merrill buyback in the 8th round. Do we think he's going to last there? Justin, start with you.
No.
Where do you think he goes? Are we talking 4th, 5th, more 6th, 7th?
Yeah, I'm thinking 5th, 6th. Kind of split the difference.
You still buying a 5th, 6th buyback?
I am.
Joe?
Yeah, I think he might even go in the 4th, depending on what we see in September.
And would you buy that?
Yeah, I think I would.
I think I would too. I think I'm in here. This is a big fantasy overreaction. This is kind of a standard buy the dip situation. I just don't know that he's done listen, it's been a wretched season, but it's a washout for me. I barely care about it. Yeah, it's 9-1 homers and steals in 91 games. It's bad, but he's 23. I'm buying back in. Huge on Rafaela. I missed the boat here. You know, Justin, you talked about this earlier. We just talked about this with Billy Hamilton. Defense keeps you on the field, and it kept him on the field. And look what he was able to do. He figured out how to hit. Accumulated a full season last year where he grinded it out, and he hasn't been amazing this year. But all Ceddanne Rafaela needs to be is like a 90 to 95 OPS plus, because that's going to be power speed, plenty of playing time. He's got 14-19 this year with a 247 average. It's fine. He basically the same thing he did last year, but in 25 fewer games. Justin, is Rafaela someone who's going to be on your board next year?
I mean, he'll definitely be on my board. I'm interested to see where if he stays here, because if he stays here, Rafaela is kind of a pretty decent buy, because all Rafaela is Michael Harris. Like that's
right.
All. Like he's a guy that makes a good amount of in zone contact, but swings outside of the zone too much. Has power, has speed, is going to be streaky at times. I'm fine with that if I'm getting him at the back end of the 7th round. If he starts to push up in the way that Michael Harris has previously into the 4th, 5th round, then I'm out.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't want to pay the big premium. I'm totally with you. I think the Michael Harris, I know we've been kind of leaning into comps here, which I think makes sense, right? They're good shorthand. You don't want to lean too heavily on them, but they're making some sense here. Rafaela with Harris. I like that, and I agree that if this starts to push up in price, I'm back out, because I've never been a big Harris guy. But even Harris himself, who goes, where does he go? Or where did he go in this draft? End of the sixth. So, you know, even that I could maybe start to look at him a little bit more than I was. Joe, Rafaela, you in or out, and where do you think his price is going to go, up or down, as we move forward?
So what I don't like is how the Red Sox don't just leave him in center field. It has driven me absolutely freaking crazy.
It's been annoying, right?
Because once they started playing him at second base, there was one appearance earlier in the year where it was a mid-game switch. But on July the 12th, that's when he played second base, and since then he's played it periodically. Since then, he has a 36 WRC plus with a 191 batting average. Are those two things tied together? I don't know. It might be. If you're constantly moving, I know he's a great defender, and maybe this doesn't factor in, but the fact that he's got to be thinking about where he's going to be playing in the field, it just adds another thing to worry about.
Right.
And for a guy who wasn't the most refined hitter in the world, like we talked about, he chases. We could get a whiff off of him probably. I just don't know why they're doing this. He is the best defensive center fielder in baseball, except for maybe Pete Crow Armstrong and Dalton Varsho. The only guys in the same breath. Why are you playing him at second base? Why are you playing him at second base? I don't get it.
I think that will change once Christian Campbell is actually ready to just be a major leaguer, and Marcel Mayer, got hurt. So, I think this will be figured out by next year, and Rafael will just stay in the outfield as the everyday center fielder. But they've been in a kind of a position this year where they didn't have those options, especially after they traded Devers.
Yeah, no, I think that
and lost Bregman.
There has been some need there, but I'm with you, Joe. Stop doing that. Let him just dominate in the outfield, Rafaela. It's been nice to see what he's been able to do this year. Again, the counting numbers look the same, but then you go look at that games played, and that's where the difference is that he's been able to do it in about 25 fewer games. All right, wrapping up here, guys. 10th and 11th rounds. Favorite outfielder here. Just pick one and give me your little pitch on him. Go ahead, Justin. You first.
Oh, man, this is really tough because there's a number of guys I really like.
It's a good group. Actually, I'll give the whole group all you're thinking. Andy Pye has Lawrence Butler, Dylan Cruz, Jacob Marcy, Kerry Carpenter, and Jack Caglione.
I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take someone in the 9th round. I'm taking Brenton Doyle.
You piece of shit.
Brenton Doyle had a real-life tragedy that happened early on in the season, and I think that has just weighed him down this year. The underlying skills have been fine.
Hasn't he been on fire lately, too?
Yeah. It's not like Lawrence Butler where the underlying skills, a lot of them eroded. Brenton Doyle's been fine under the hood. I think he's going to be a huge bounce-back guy. If I'm getting him in the 9th, 10th round next year, I'm going to be stoked.
7-3 homers and steals with a 372 average in the last 28 days for Brenton Doyle. I'll let you cheat there in the 9th round. I love him, too. I'm buying back in. Joe, last 2 rounds, I know you can follow directions, so you'll pick somebody from there. Who's your favorite?
Aaron Judge. No, I really like all these guys, honestly. But
It's
I
a
think
good group.
Jacob Marcy and Kerry
Ah,
Carpenter.
yeah. Okay, you pick my guy.
It has to be Marcy, but I
Yep.
also am really partial to Kerry Carpenter. Like Marcy's plate discipline skills combined with the way he's hitting the crap out of the ball, everything is fantastic. He's like Pete Crow Armstrong from last year, a guy you could get in the 10th, 11th round who could go 30-30 for you, except he has much better plate discipline.
Yep.
Worst lineup around him. But I think that's like the laziest comp I could come up with. He's kind of like this year's version of PCA, that 30-30 guy in the 10th or 11th round.
I'm so hot on Marcy, and I know he's only raising his price with everything he's doing. I don't care. I'll still be in. I think there's a cap on it because he's in Miami, which is great. I think it'll only go so high because everyone will say, well, it's still Miami. So, like, even if Marcy starts creeping into the 7th round, as long as it's after those guys, that Yelich, Simpson, Buxton, Rafaela quartet, I could even pay that as a premium. But I love Marcy. I just love everything he's doing. And you really tugged at my heartstrings there going with Marcy and Carpenter because, of course, I love my boy Kerry. Joe, one commenter thinks I hate you because we were arguing last episode. So maybe you're just winning me over with the Marcy and Carpenter picks there so I stop hating you. No, I don't hate them. Guys, I like to argue and debate. And with these two, it's all love. Now, you might find me arguing with somebody on Twitter, and it's pure hate. But with these two, it's all love. And, I know Justin's had people ask, do you think Paul even likes you? I love Justin, dude. But this is how I talk to my brother and sister when we're debating sports, too. Like, it's me. I'm sorry, but I don't hate Joe. Don't ever think that. You guys are the best. Great talking outfielders. We'll skip the DHs until Thursday. It's fine. There's only 3 of them. We can talk about them then with the pitchers. I'll catch up with you guys on Thursday afternoon. Take care.
Screw you, Paul.